Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through the noise, get you well informed. And look, when it comes to enterprise tech, especially, cutting edge AI, it can feel complex, like really overwhelming. How do you actually make sense of something like Microsoft Copilot Studio?
Yeah.
It's powerful, nuanced. Well, today that's exactly what we're doing. We're unpacking it, looking at the features, the licenses, which is key, and what it really means in practice. We're taking all those sources you shared, boiling them down, getting you well informed fast. It's our deep dive into unpacking Microsoft Copilot Studio.
Exactly. And this isn't just a tech feature list, not at all. It's really about understanding the strategic choices you face. Big choices. So the goal today is to give you the insights needed for, well, smart decisions on procurement, architecture, governance. Basically setting up your AI initiatives right.
You get ready for some surprising facts, maybe a few aha moments. We want to make this whole maze of options feel clearer. Much clearer. Okay, let's dive in. All right, first piece of the puzzle, and it trips a lot of people up. The Microsoft 365 E5 license. There's this idea floating around that E5 just gives you everything, right? Full generative AI, Copilot Studio. Is that actually, does E5 alone get you there?
Yeah, that's a really critical point to clear up right away. It's a common misunderstanding. E5 is super important, foundational even, but no, it does not give you full generative AI Copilot Studio rights on its own. What it does include is some pretty limited bot building capabilities, basic stuff. And it's strictly for Microsoft Teams using Dataverse for Teams. Think classic bots, okay? No modern generative AI. You can't publish them outside Teams. And they're capped too, like 10 sessions per user per 24 hours across all the bots they use. Oh, and worth noting, this basic capability isn't in the US government EDU A1 or subscriber SKUs. So not for everyone.
Okay, so not the full AI powerhouse then, but it sounds like E5 is still crucial. So what is its main job here? What's the real value?
It is absolutely crucial. Think of E5 less about using Copilot Studio's fancy AI right away and more about building the secure foundation. It's the readiness investment for your whole enterprise AI plan, its main role, establishing that bedrock of security, compliance, data governance, things you absolutely need before you unleash powerful AI. It unlocks advanced Microsoft Purview features, which are key for securing AI.
Like what specifically? What purview features does E5 light up?
Okay, good question. So for example, E5 enables automatic sensitivity labels for your data in SharePoint, OneDrive, Exchange.
Right, automatically applying those confidential or internal-only tags.
Exactly, and that's huge because Copilot respects those labels. It helps prevent accidental oversharing of sensitive stuff. That's critical. Then there's data loss prevention, DLP. E5 extends that to Teams chats, channels, even managed endpoints. And here's a key distinction. Purview DLP for M365, Copilot governs the grounding data, like it stops Copilot summarizing sensitive documents, whereas Power Platform admin-centered DLP, that's more about the agent's connectors to other systems, different jobs.
Gotcha. Two types of DLP for different risks.
Precisely. E5 also enables data security posture management for AI, DSPM, often paired with E5. Think of DSPM as like the AI's flight recorder. It captures prompts, responses, essential for audit trails, e-discovery, indispensable really. Plus you get advanced data lifecycle management, helps clean up old data so Copilot uses current info. And finally, things like e-discovery and communication compliance. Vital for regulated industries, auditing AI interactions, checking for policy violations.
Wow, okay, so E5 isn't really about using the cool AI features directly. It's about making absolutely sure you can use them safely and compliantly down the line. It's like building the fortress walls before you let the powerful AI drag in inside.
That's a great way to put it. It's the secure bedrock.
Okay, bedrock established, fortress walls are up. So the next question is, how do you actually start using AI to, enhance things within your M365 world? That brings us to the next layer, right? The Microsoft 365 Copilot add-on license. What does this one unlock?
Right. This license is your main route for internal extensions and customizations. Inside the M365 experience, it's really designed to empower your users, often called citizen developers, to build things like declarative agents and plugins.
Declarative agents?
Yeah.
Meaning you just tell them what to do in plain English. Less code, more instruction.
Pretty much, yeah. You train them by describing the goal rather than writing tons of code. Think of building an AI assistant for HR questions or maybe IT support tailored just for your company. That's the idea.
And the licensing, how does that work?
Okay, so it's an add-on. Per user, per month, usually around the $30 mark. And critically, you need that base license first, either M365 E3 or E5. Now, here's the important part for this internal use case. This add-on includes the necessary Copilot Studio rights. So for building and using these agents inside M365, you don't need a separate standalone license.
Okay, that's good to know. Built-in rights.
Exactly. And one more thing. Both the person building the agent and the people using it need this M365 Copilot license.
Got it. Now,
Yeah.
you mentioned something really interesting cost-wise earlier. Zero-rated messages. What does that actually mean? Is it genuinely unlimited?
Yes, the zero-rated messages. That's a key benefit for sure. Zero-rated means when a licensed user interacts with one of these custom agents within the M365 World Teams, SharePoint, M365 Chat, those interactions don't count against any message quota. They're not metered.
Okay, for licensed users interacting inside M365.
Right. And this covers the core stuff. Classic answers, the AI-generated answers, grounding in your company data via tenant graph, and even basic agent actions. So when people say unlimited, it applies specifically to these interactions for licensed users inside M365.
So it encourages people to actually build and use these internal helpers without worrying about ticking meters.
That's exactly the goal. Drive internal adoption.
Okay, besides the zero-rated part for core interactions,
Yeah.
what else does this M365 Copilot license enable internally?
Well, it gives you the creation rights. Create and publish your own agents and plugins to extend Microsoft 365 Copilot. That's the key phrase. It also unlocks full use rights for over 1,400 Power Platform connectors, both standard and premium.
So you can connect these internal agents to other systems,
Yeah.
like Salesforce or Zendesk.
Yep, things like Salesforce, Zendesk, GitHub, but use within that M365 context for these agents. And you also get use right for Dataverse, for Copilot Studio, and Power Platform managed environments. Basically a solid, secure backend for these internal tools.
But there have to be limits, right? What can't you do with just this license? What are the key restrictions?
The biggest one, the most important limitation, goes back to where you can publish. Agents built and licensed this way can only be published to the Microsoft 365 experience. That means Teams, SharePoint, M365 Chat. That's it.
So no putting them on the company's public website or a custom mobile app.
Nope. Absolutely cannot publish them externally. The license specifically excludes the right to create and publish your own agents anywhere. And another crucial point, some advanced Copilot Studio features, things like agent flows or the more complex AI tools, those are always metered. Always. Even if you have the M365 Copilot license.
Okay, so unlimited definitely has an asterisk.
It does. Those advanced capabilities will draw from your tenant's separate metered capacity if you have it.
So the M365 Copilot license basically creates this powerful but contained walled garden for AI development. Great for boosting internal productivity within the Microsoft suite, but yeah, strictly internal.
You nailed it. A powerful walled garden.
Okay, but what if your AI dreams are bigger than that garden? What if you absolutely need that bot on your public website answering customer questions or integrating deeply with external systems? That's a whole new ballgame, isn't it? Requires a different approach. So how do you license Copilot Studio if you need to go beyond the internal M365 world?
Right. To break out of that walled garden, you need the standalone subscription path. This really turns Copilot Studio into a full-blown channel-agnostic platform. Anything goes, pretty much. And you license this either through pre-purchase message packs or via a pay-as-you-go model, PAYG, linked to an Azure subscription.
Okay, standalone. What does that term really signify here? What's the main difference?
Standalone basically refers to the licensing path or the product itself, the full web application separate from those M365 Copilot rights we just discussed. Its absolute key differentiator, the number one capability it unlocks, is that right to create and publish your own agents anywhere.
Anywhere. Like truly anywhere.
Yep. Public websites, custom mobile apps, social media, SMS bots, you name it. If you need to reach users outside your M365 licensed base, this is the way.
Got it. And metered refers to how you pay for it, correct? How does that actually work? Message packs versus PAYG.
Exactly. Metered is the billing model. You got two main options. Message packs. You buy a fixed chunk of messages up front, say 25,000 messages a month for around $200, usually paid yearly, and crucially, they don't roll over. Use them or lose them each month.
Okay, so that's good for predictable traffic, maybe.
Precisely. If you have a pretty stable, foreseeable workload, packs can give you cost certainty. Then there's pay-as-you-go, PAYG. You link it to an Azure subscription. No upfront commitment, you just pay for what you consume.
That sounds way more flexible.
It is. It's the most powerful and flexible option, especially for dynamic scaling or if your usage fluctuates a lot. Spiky traffic, new projects, PAYG handles it.
Now, this is where I remember getting really surprised, how a message is actually defined. It's not just one question and one answer, is it? Because those costs could spiral.
No, definitely not one-to-one. A message is more like an abstract unit measuring computational effort. And yeah, the cost per interaction can vary wildly depending on what you ask the agent to do.
How wildly are we talking?
Okay, let's break it down. It's quite a range. A basic classic answer, just spitting out a pre-written response that costs just one message, lowest cost. A generative answer, where the AI actually crafts a response based on knowledge sources, that's 2 messages. An agent action, like calling a Power Automate flow to, say, update a CRM record, that's 5 messages. Now, tenant graph grounding. This is where it gets interesting. Using your own company data via Microsoft Graph for personalized answers, that's 10 messages per interaction.
Okay, starting to climb.
Yep. Then agent flow actions. These are for more autonomous multi-step tasks. The AI handles, they're billed at 13 messages per 100 actions executed. And then you have the AI tools. These are add-ons for specific generative tasks. Basic AI tools cost 1 message per 10 responses generated. Standard AI tools jump to 15 messages per 10 responses. And the top-tier premium AI tools designed for really advanced reasoning, like summarizing huge data sets or complex analysis.
How much for premium?
That's 100 messages per 10 responses.
Wow. Okay. 1 message for a simple answer. 100 messages for a premium AI task response. That's 100 times difference. That really highlights the financial risk, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I can see how costs could explode unexpectedly.
Absolutely. It's a huge potential pitfall. A poorly designed agent may be something built by a well-meaning but untrained citizen developer. It could easily rack up enormous costs without anyone realizing until the bill arrives. Imagine users asking seemingly simple questions that, under the hood, trigger that super expensive premium AI tool over and over. Yeah. So, robust governance is not optional here. It's essential. Strict controls, continuous monitoring, you absolutely need that oversight with consumption billing.
Okay, so we have these 2 main paths. The internal M365 Copilot license for productivity boosts within the walls, and the flexible, powerful, but potentially costly standalone license for reaching anyone, anywhere. Given these options and the risks, what's the smart play for most large organizations? What's the optimal strategy?
Well, for most larger enterprises, the most practical and effective strategy is probably going to be a hybrid approach.
Hybrid, okay, meaning using both.
Exactly. You leverage that M365 integrated model, the one with the add-on license. Use that for broad internal adoption. Empower those citizen developers, get lots of internal productivity wins within that safe walled garden. Predictable cost per user mostly. Then you reserve the standalone model, the PAYG or message packs for specific high-value projects, things that absolutely need external reach or require those advanced metered features like agent flows. And crucially, you use standalone to serve users who don't have the M365 Copilot license, whether they're customers or even internal folks without that specific license.
So use the cheaper, easier internal path broadly and the more powerful, flexible external path selectively and strategically.
That's the core idea. Maximize value, manage cost and risk.
Makes sense. But how do organizations actually do that effectively? It sounds like you need good tools and processes to manage this split.
Oh, absolutely. You need the right administrative tooling, for sure. The Power Platform Admin Center is key. That's your hub for managing environments, setting up those data loss prevention policies we talked about, checking usage analytics. Then, for anything using that consumption billing PAYG or even metered features with M365 Copilot Azure Cost Management becomes critical.
For watching the spending, right?
Exactly. Monitoring costs in near real time, setting budgets, getting alerts before things get out of hand. It's your financial control panel. And of course, the Microsoft 365 Admin Center is where you manage assigning the M365 Copilot licenses and deploying those internal agents. But tools alone aren't enough. The real linchpin for making a hybrid model work is a strong center of excellence, or COE.
The COE, right. Their role becomes even more important here.
Hugely important. The COE needs to clearly define the 2 paths. The M365 path. This is for citizen development, internal productivity, maybe using templates, getting training. Guardrails are key here. And the standalone path. This is for pro developers, mission critical stuff, external facing agents, complex automations. Managed tightly by the COE. The COE also needs to manage the licensing, allocating M365 Copilot seats, overseeing the standalone capacity budget. They should set up distinct environments, M365 environments for citizen makers with fairly restrictive DLP, and then highly restricted standalone production environments for the pro devs, linked to Azure PAYG with carefully managed DLP.
Segregation is key for control.
Absolutely.
Right.
And the COE centralizes cost management, linking Azure to those standalone environments, setting budgets in Azure cost management, constantly reviewing usage in both Power Platform Admin Center and Azure. Finally, they need to provide really clear onboarding guides, templates for the citizen folks, and a formal intake process for pro dev projects needing that standalone power.
Okay, that COE role sounds absolutely critical for preventing chaos and cost overruns in a hybrid model.
Yeah.
Now, with all this complexity, power, flexibility, there are bound to be some common mistakes, right? Some gotchas people fall into. What should organizations really watch out for, and how do they avoid these pitfalls?
Yeah, there are definitely a few key gotchas we see. Let's run through maybe the top 4. First, the cost overrun gotcha. We touched on this. The problem. A developer, maybe unintentionally, uses a super high-cost feature like a premium AI tool for something routine.
And suddenly the bill is huge, like that $1 per response example. Ouch.
Exactly. The solution. Lock down that PAYG billing, restrict it primarily to COE-managed environments, and have a really rigorous review process for any agent that will use consumption billing before it ever sees the light of day. Control who can spend the big bucks.
Okay, control the consumption billing tightly. What's next?
Second, the end-user licensing. Gotcha. This one's sneaky. The problem. You build a great internal agent using the M365 Copilot license model. Awesome. But then you realize it only works zero-rated for other users who also have that specific M365 Copilot license.
So if you want it to serve all employees, even those without the $30 add-on,
then their usage will be billed against your standalone capacity pool, if you have one. It's not free for them.
so the fix is education. And maybe choosing the standalone path if broad reach is the goal.
Precisely. Educate the business on how this works. If you need truly universal internal access, you might need to budget for standalone capacity for those interactions.
Okay, gotcha. Number 2. What's the third?
Third is the leaky governance.
Gotcha.
The problem. A citizen developer is working in their safe, assigned M365 environment. But they use a premium connector, maybe one you didn't intend for broad use, to get their simple bot to a really sensitive backend system, like HR or finance data.
And suddenly data could be exposed where it shouldn't be.
Exactly, an inadvertent data leak. The solution here lies in robust Power Platform DLP policies, specifically tiered policies. Apply stricter policies in those citizen developer environments. Block the super-sensitive connectors entirely, or at least prevent them from being combined with M365 connectors in the same bot or flow. Prevent the leak.
Makes sense. Use DLP like traffic control for data. And the last gotcha.
Number 4, the Power Automate licensing gotcha. The problem. Your Copilot Studio agent needs to trigger a fairly complex cloud flow in Power Automate to do its job, but the flow fails or requires extra licensing because the basic use rights included with the M365 Copilot license don't cover premium Power Automate features.
So the Copilot license doesn't automatically give you full Power Automate, right?
Not for the premium stuff, no. Message packs do typically include the necessary Power Automate rights for flows triggered by the agent. But if you're relying only on the M365 Copilot license, or even just PAYG for Copilot Studio messages, you might hit a wall. The solution is clear guidance and potentially budgeting for separate Power Automate premium licenses if your agents need those complex background automations.
Those are 4 really crucial points to watch out for. Cost, user licensing, data leaks, and flow licensing. Good to know. Okay, let's try and tie this all together now with some practical scenarios. How does an organization actually match its goals, internal focus versus external, simple versus complex to the right licensing model?
Okay, great way to frame it. Let's walk through common scenarios. Scenario A, internal productivity and workflow automation. Think HR policy bots, basic IT help desk agents inside teams, maybe a project status assistant, a sales team helper, all internal.
Right, the stuff happening inside the M365 walled garden.
Exactly. For these, the recommended license is clearly the Microsoft 365 Copilot add-on. Why? It's all within the M365 ecosystem. You get that predictable per-user cost, those zero-rated messages encourage adoption, and it really supports citizen development well.
Okay, internal productivity, M365 Copilot license. Scenario B.
Scenario B, external-facing customer service and engagement. Use cases here are things like a 24047 support bot on your public website, maybe lead generation bots, order tracking agents in a customer portal.
Talking to people outside the company.
Correct. The recommended license here has to be standalone, either PAYG or message packs. It's non-negotiable because you need that right to publish externally. Then you just choose PAG if you need elasticity for unpredictable traffic, or message packs if you want a capped cost for steadier traffic.
Makes sense. External requires standalone. What about really advanced stuff?
Scenario C, advanced autonomous process automation. Here we're talking about agents that might monitor IoT data streams, detect anomalies, execute complex multi-step workflows across different enterprise systems without much human intervention.
More complex, maybe running behind the scenes.
Yeah, often relying on those agent flows or potentially premium AI tools we discussed. Again, the recommended license is standalone, PAYG or message packs. Why? Because those advanced features are always metered. This is usually a high-value, pro-developer scenario where you anticipate consumption costs but expect significant ROI.
Okay, so advanced E standalone too. Now, what's probably most common?
Scenario D, a hybrid enterprise AI strategy. This is the reality for most large organizations. They need a bit of everything we just discussed, often all at the same time.
Internal bots, external bots, simple automations, complex ones.
Exactly. So the recommended approach is that blended or a hybrid licensing strategy. You deploy M365 Copilot broadly for that internal innovation wave, and you combine it with tightly controlled standalone capacity PAYG or packs for those strategic external agents, the autonomous ones, and covering any metered usage. And I'll say it again. The governance imperative here, having that strong COE, is absolutely critical to manage the two different cost models, capability sets, and developer groups effectively.
That hybrid model really seems like the strategic sweet spot for big companies. And this isn't just theory, right? You mentioned some intriguing real-world examples from different sectors.
Oh yeah, the sources had some great examples that really illustrate these concepts. In federal government, think about disaster and emergency response. They need to scale up fast during an event, then scale down. PAYG is perfect for that elasticity. Or automating FOIA requests using tenant graph grounding to sift through massive amounts of internal documents safely.
Makes sense. What about state or local?
State and local government. Things like 311 or Public Works request triage, using agent actions to route things correctly, or handling seasonal peaks for permits and licenses. PAYG helps manage those spikes. Election information assistance are another great short-term, high-traffic use case.
Higher education. Always interesting use cases there.
Absolutely. Higher education, course registration, and advising bots to handle those insane peak demand periods. Financial aid and FAFSA support bots offering 247 help when students need it. Even proactive outreach to at-risk students, a high-value use case where AI can really impact retention.
And manufacturing. Lots of potential.
For sure. Manufacturing. Imagine agents responding instantly to supply chain disruption alerts, triggered by events, maybe using PAYG so there's minimal standing cost, or field technician support bots accessible on mobile, integrated with ERP systems. Factory floor anomaly detection using IoT data for predictive maintenance that often involves those advanced metered capabilities. These examples really show how different licensing and features map to tangible business outcomes across sectors.
That really brings it home. Wow, okay. What a journey through Copilot Studio. We've gone from the basic E5 security foundation through the internal N365 walled garden out to the wide open possibilities of standalone, covering licenses, capabilities, costs, governance.
Yeah, and if you zoom out, connect it to the bigger picture. Understanding these details, these nuances, it's not just about, trying to save a few bucks on licensing, though that helps. It's fundamentally about shaping your organization's entire AI strategy. It defines who gets to build AI solutions, what kind of solutions they can build, and how secure and scalable those solutions will be long term.
So the message for everyone listening.
Yeah.
What does this all mean for you? It means choosing your AI platform, and specifically how you license and govern Copilot Studio. It's not just a tech decision tucked away in IT, it's a core strategic business decision. It impacts productivity, how you engage with customers, maybe even how adaptable your whole company is going to be.
Which leads to, I think, a really important question for everyone to consider. For your organization, looking at your specific needs and goals, where could AI deliver the most immediate, the most profound impact? And based on everything we've discussed, are you actually laying the right groundwork, foundational security, the right licensing mix, the necessary governance to get there safely, efficiently, and without those nasty surprise bills?
That's definitely something to mull over as you plot your own course into enterprise AI. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.